Good evening and welcome to the first edition of the LIVRESQ Empower Your Teaching webinar for 2025. It's a real pleasure to be here. We're going to continue with these webinars this year as well, and we're going to be showing you or showcasing different aspects or different feature of our app. Sometimes there'll be new features, other times there'll be features that users have been asking about, or features that maybe aren't very obvious, more in a way hidden or harder to reach. We just want to make sure through this webinar that you know that these features exist, how to use LIVRESQ, how to integrate LIVRESQ with other apps, and also to help build your courses in the way that you want to build them. Because one thing that we always say about LIVRESQ is that it's a very, very versatile app, and that you can really do a multitude of things. You can create a multitude of types of materials, not just courses, but maybe ebooks as well, or any other type of educational content that you want to edit. And one very important aspect of creating your own courses, your own materials, is being able to brand them. And we do offer some options for adding your own brand touches to your materials. Some of them are really straightforward, things like adding a logo. Some of them have to do with adding brand identity elements, either through CSS or by adding images, changing colors, and so on. So what I'm going to be covering tonight is, first of all, how to add logos and different images, and then how we can tweak colors and how you can access CSS features if you want to go more in depth and edit more in that respect. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now, and we're going to be looking inside a project, and this is an empty project. I usually showcase features using projects that are empty, so no, they don't have any content at the moment, so that you can see the features as they are. You can easily look through all the settings. In my opinion, it's easier to work in a project that has no previous settings. That's just the default LIVRESQ project. So in order to add your logo, for instance, and there's a special place that we've reserved for your logo, you need to go under Preferences. Typically, when you open a LIVRESQ project, and for this, we're going to go into View mode. So when we go into View mode, there's nothing here, just these two bars that are automatically by default set to green. The place where your logo will be located is under the menu here at the very bottom. So here, when the learner opens the menu, they'll be able to see your logo, which you can add if you have a premium account. If your account is not premium, this place will automatically be occupied by the LIVRESQ logo. So very important to note that this is how the app behaves. You're only able to add your own logo if you have a premium account, so if you pay for a subscription. To change or to add your own logo there, you go under Preferences, and there's a very straightforward setting called Logo Image. And here is the place where you can load your own logo. So I just click on here, and then I have the option to either choose from a stock image or upload my own file. In the case of a logo, of course, you might not be able to find it in as a stock image. I'm just going to upload the LIVRESQ logo. So I'll select my picture from my computer, and then I have it here. Now I've added the logo to my project, to my course, and if I open the menu in View mode, I will now be able to see my logo at the bottom here. You can make it a little bit smaller if you want. You can add different other, you can add it inside an image, so you can really customize it. We recommend that the background is transparent for that logo, so it's a PNG file. Now, there's another thing that you can customize within this menu in terms of identity and in terms of adding images to that menu, and that's this top banner up here. So behind the title of the project, which again is by default, it says write a title, it's blank, and under the progress bar in the search bar, we have the possibility to add another banner-like image. We call it the hero image, and it's right above the logo. And here I'm just going to go through a stock photo. We recommend a minimum width of 290 pixels. The platform tells you that here. Of course, I'm going to be choosing a larger picture. You have access, if this is your first contact with LIVRESQ, by the way, you have access to 3 sources for stock photos. Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash, which you can search straight from the app. You can just enter a keyword, search through multiple pages of results, and choose the image you want. I'm just going to I'll just choose an image from the main page. I don't need a larger resolution. I'll just go with medium. Different sources have different options for resolutions, so you can go with whatever resolution you want. This is a way, so this feature of searching through stock photos can be used wherever you can add an image in LIVRESQ. So not just for the hero image, not just for the logo, wherever there's a place for an image, you're able to search through the stock photos and add an image. So right now I've added this image. I even have a button that pops up here that allows me to edit it. Inside LIVRESQ, we have an image editor. It's a basic image editor, but it allows you to tweak your images and to add different things to your images, such as text. You can flip them. You can play around with filters. You can crop them. You can make them transparent. You can basically delete them. You can flip them again, you can rotate them, you can draw on them, add different shapes, add images to your image as well. This is a possibility under stickers here. So if you want to add another image on top of that image, you can do that. Different shapes, resizing, and text. But for the purpose of adding our hero image to the project, I'm going to click on Save, and we're going to go into View mode again to see what this looks like. So up here, I've just changed the image. Down here, I've added my logo. Really easy, really straightforward. And this can be something that represents your brand. Now, in terms of colors and how to play around with the graphic themes, because we do understand the importance, and of course, adding the colors of a brand, but the brand identity in terms of colors is very, very important. And you are able to customize that to a very, very to the very minute details of your project. But the easiest way to determine the colors for the entire project is still here under Properties, and we have the setting theme. And for this, we have a few preset options that change the colors of the entire theme. Aero means it's transparent, but we can also configure our own theme, either starting from one of the existing ones, but then changing it around. So you can change the font for all the texts in your project. This will change the font for texts inside native interactive resources as well, not just text that is added as the text resource. You can choose the size of the text. The primary color is what will be displayed up here on the very top bar, the bar that contains the menu that we've just looked at, the settings, the various settings you can add. So the primary color, you can either enter the code or you can choose whatever color you want, or whatever color is actually part of your brand identity. Then the lighter primary color is displayed down here, and you can choose it a little bit different, or again, it can be your brand's colors. A darker primary color works for some of the settings, and you can also change the text color. So if you want your text to be, for instance, green as well, I went with this green. You notice now that this is just a mock of my project, because we know that my project is empty. I have no settings, I have no content inside of it. But because I've just changed the text color, now you see that things like audio has changed. If I go further, the color of the text inside my quizzes. So this works on text inside interactive apps, interactive resources as well, not just on text that is added as the text resource. And if you have if you have a brand identity in terms of styles of icons and things like this, you can even change the icons for each type of resource. These are displayed inside a project if you decide to keep this top bar here. So if you want the quiz to have this top bar here, there will be an icon next to the title of that resource. In this case, it's quiz, but you can change this text to whatever you want. And again, this is where you can change the icon for all of these apps. So if you want them to look more in tone with your brand, you can do that. The buttons up here can also be changed. You can add other buttons as well. In terms of text size, I didn't because I wanted to say this when we saw font size here. Bear in mind that your learners have the option to manually change the font size according to their needs if you leave on this settings button here. So if they need the text to be bigger or smaller, they can change it automatically and it's 100% responsive. So only if you want to, you can change the font size, but if you don't, then that's okay. And now, but you choosing a background color, choosing a background image works as well, no problem. And of course, these are settings you might be familiar with. And if you want to further customize all of this, bear in mind that we have this panel called Advanced Styling, and this is the place where you can add CSS. And adding CSS works for the entire project if you do it here under properties. You can define classes for different elements. So if you're really into coding, if you're into editing using CSS, this is the advanced way to use LIVRESQ. It's not just about changing colors and changing pictures and images and adding logos, but you can go even further and start editing CSS. Once you do this under properties, bear in mind that you can also do this on all of the elements inside your project, so on all the elements of your content. I went from preferences to sections because our LIVRESQ project is divided into sections. And if I go inside my section, of course, there is nothing here because I chose a blank project, but I noticed right away that we have three types of elements that a LIVRESQ section is divided into. We have rows, cells, and resources. And if I select, no matter which one of these I select, I can go under the same panel, Advanced Styling, and I can add different types of CSS bits that will change what my project looks like. So if you're into defining these, if you're into working with CSS, you can 100% go ahead and change the settings and adapt everything to your needs. If you work with a template, for instance, and I'm just going to very easily open a template since we're talking about branding, I'm just going to go with a corporate one. I'll double click to view. This is what it looks like. Everything inside this template can be changed. I'm going to select it and click on use, and now I can use this template. It will duplicate it will make a copy of it, and I'll have access to editing it. Under preferences, if we go back, we see that there's a hero image that we can obviously change. The logo image we can add. The theme is customized. We have some CSS. So if you're into editing, this is what it looks like once you add code. For sections though, different elements have different CSS properties. So we have a background color for this row, but we also have a lot of CSS added here so that you can change according to your needs and to your brand. And again, this works on all elements. If you don't want to change it or if you don't need to change it, you can leave it as is. The important thing, or what I wanted to showcase tonight, is that you do have the option to edit either or to add your brand, to add your information in a more basic and simple way by just adding a logo, adding a hero image, and obviously changing pictures. You can add images inside your course as well. So if you want to add your logo somewhere else, not just inside the menu, you can do that. If you want to add links or buttons to the top bar, we've discussed the top bar during our last meeting, so you can go ahead and watch that and you'll see how you can interact and create different elements and different buttons for the top bar. But besides this, you can also use CSS to change more colors, to add more borders, to add more brand identity elements to your course. All right. So I hope this was useful. I hope you found this information interesting. I hope to see courses that are branded inside LIVRESQ. I will be back here in 2 weeks' time at 6 p.m. CET, so Central European Time. I know that a lot of our viewers cannot join us for the lives, but if you have any questions, we always communicate the date and time of our meeting. You can write to us in advance, you can write to me, or you can write your question in the registration form for the Zoom meeting, and we will get back to you. I'll either answer it live, or of course, if you have any questions regarding what I've spoken about tonight, you can leave your comment under the recording of this video, whether you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time on Thursday. Have a wonderful evening.